I'm Kimberlie Acosta. Welcome to the Native News Update. It's Friday, December 24th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at our website, IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A glamorous, aspiring Native American model who was studying to be an art therapist has been found dead in the mansion of Ex-Busch IV of the brewing dynasty most famous for Budweiser. Adrian Martin, 27, is reported to have been dating Mr. Busch, the former chief executive of the Anheuser-Busch, for a year. Forensic officials said there was no signs of illness or trauma, but autopsy results could take 4 to 6 weeks. Police did not say if the death was considered suspicious. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch quoted an unnamed law enforcement source as saying the case was being investigated as a possible overdose. This is the second time the great-great-grandson of Anheuser-Busch founder Adolphus Busch has been linked to the death of a young woman. On November 13, 1983, the then 20-year-old University of Arizona student left a bar near Tucson with a woman and shortly after crashed his black Corvette. According to the Post-Dispatch, the dead woman, Michelle Frederick, was thrown from the car while Mr. Busch was found 6 hours later at his home dazed and bloodied. He has suffered a fractured skull and claimed he had amnesia. The investigation took 7 months, after which authorities declined to press criminal charges, saying there was not enough adequate evidence to do so. The young man accused of vandalizing prehistoric artifacts at the Red Rock Canyon appeared before a judge in juvenile court on December 23rd. Despite his attorney's attempts at getting him released for the holidays, the teen accused of spray painting the art panels will spend the holidays in custody. Because the accused vandal is only 17 years old, his identity cannot be released. Police say he spray painted his nickname, though, which is Pee-wee, on the rocks. The teen did not speak during Thursday's proceedings, but he is expected to enter a plea on the charges during his next court date in January. Friends of Red Rock Canyon say because the defaced area was prehistoric, it could be several months before cleanup gets underway. It could also cost more than $10,000. A federal grand jury has indicted 3 northern Idaho men for vandalism to ancient tribal pictographs near Hell's Gate State Park in Lewiston. Court records show Tyler Carlson, Freddie Bernal, and Jared Bovenkamp each face a felony charge of willful injury or depredation of property of the United States. A federal judge on December 21st unsealed the grand jury indictment, which was filed in November of 16th. The Lewiston Tribune reports the initials TC and the name Freddie B appeared amid the graffiti spray painted on the pictographs, which archaeologists believe are at least 2,500 years old. If convicted, the men each face criminal penalties up to $20,000 and 2 years in prison under the Federal Archaeological Resource Protection Act of 1979. Navajo lawmakers voted down a measure December 22nd that would have increased the tribal council from 24 members to 88. Navajos voted a year ago to reduce the council to 24 members as part of a ballot initiative. The smaller council will be seated in January. The measure sought to have Navajos vote through a referendum to increase the council. South Dakota Governor Dennis Daugaard said he hopes to foster more cooperation between the state and Indian tribes by creating a cabinet-level Secretary of Tribal Affairs in his administration. Daugaard says he expects the announcement soon on who will fill the post. He said it will be a tribal person from South Dakota. He told August Leader that the tribes should have a representative who have direct access to the governor. How do you save a dwindling language with technology? In the case of the Cherokee tribe, you put your language on devices that kids want most, and that's the iPhones and iPads. Cherokee has been supported by Mac OS X since 2003, with special keyboard layouts and keys that use Cherokee characters. Now you can use your iPhones and soon the iPad to do the same. Pretty much as soon as the iPhone was released, representatives from the Cherokee Nation asked Apple to consider adding support for the language, which is declining in use among the younger generation. Apple remained mum on the subject, and it wasn't until just shortly before the release of iOS 4.1 in September of 2010 that they were informed that Apple would be adding support for Cherokee. So far, Cherokee is the only Native American language to be supported on Apple devices. The hope is that by extending the use of the Cherokee into iPhones, students will continue to use Cherokee even when they are not in class away from their computers. Apple devices that supports Cherokee are most popular with students, but the technology is slowly gaining traction with older tribal members, especially those who might not be willing to use computers but routinely use cell phones. Just announced on the Google for Students blog, Google's major scholarships are now open for application. One of the scholarships currently open is the Google ACES Scholarship, a scholarship awarded to Native Americans, Alaska Natives, and Native Hawaiians who are currently pursuing a computer engineer or computer science degree. All recipients will receive scholarship funds to cover or help in covering the cost of school, and will be able to attend Google's annual Scholars Retreat. Those interested in learning more about the Google Scholarship opportunities or in applying for one of the programs can visit google.com/jobs/scholarships. And that's the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season. Have a grand day.